You are listening to the Fringe Radio Network. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
You're listening to Earth Oddity, a weekly odyssey into all the oddity planet Earth has to offer. And now, serving it up are Christopher Tiny Sullivan and John Long.
Welcome, everybody, into another episode of Earth Oddity, your favorite podcast, the most popular podcast in New Zealand. And
the best podcast you've never heard of.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So we're glad you could join us, myself and my co-host and brains behind the whole operation, Mr. Christopher Tiny Sullivan.
How's everybody doing?
We're here to bring you some awesome stories this week that you'll find entertaining. Got a few of them sent in from listeners, and probably my favorite is one about a Payless shoe store that pulled off of the ultimate prank in my mind. But
I've got the MAGA Bomber, Indian Corpse Smugglers, and all things Kid Rock.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good.
Quite a lineup.
Yeah. Anytime you can work Kid Rock into an episode, I feel like we're coming out on the plus side here. He's one of like the white trash patriarchs of the world.
Is.
Yeah. Also, I'm a little mad that he a few years back, he like teamed up with Hank Williams Jr. And he was like acting like, I'm a big country boy and all that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, you're from Michigan, right? Like,
he's always appropriated Southern culture.
Yeah,
though.
right.
Like his whole career, he's from Detroit. But I went to see him at City Stages in Birmingham one year.
Oh, cool!
And he was introduced out on stage as Detroit's one and only cowboy, Kid Rock. So,
well, was that when he had like the little person with him too, Josie?
That was before then.
Oh, okay.
Or no, that was after.
After
I'm sorry,
he passed
that was after.
on,
Yes.
he went on in to receive his reward.
Something like that.
But I bet you it was a fun show. I would not hesitate to go. I'm not a Kid Rock fan. I only know like the Ball to Whatever song. Yes. That's probably the only one I really know.
Well, Cowboy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm a cowboy, baby.
That's what gave him national attention.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I know two songs, but I think it would probably be a pretty fun concert to go to.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of Kid Rock's music, but at the same time, I've always kind of had a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of those guys, like, your mama told you to kind of stay away from him.
Yeah.
And he's like super foul-mouthed redneck guy that you work with at the factory, but you still sit with him at lunch because you just got to hear what he's going to say
right.
next.
Yeah, he's interested. Well, and he also like, when I was growing up in the 80s and probably, early 90s, rock and roll had a lot of just like, what's the best word to use? A lot of like, just like bad dudes. I mean, they weren't like, like necessarily tough, but they might be. But I mean, they all had like cocaine habits and, groupies and stuff, and I don't know that rock bands do that anymore. At least it's not like as advertised. Maybe they've all like brought it more internally since used to you could only read like a Spin magazine.
Since the Me Too movement, they've all kind of tried to
clean up their
wraps.
Yeah, but I do appreciate him keeping a little bit of the spirit of rock and roll alive. Anyways, you
want to just go ahead and launch into that story since we're talking about him? Let's go ahead and get started.
Kid Rock at the beginning. Give the people what they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that northern Detroit cowboy, he has recently made some controversial comments on TV.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing new.
Yeah.
He has done this many times before, and I'm sure he's not going to stop now.
Well, hold on. Let me stop you before you get into it. Is he, there was like rumors he was going to run for office or something.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he didn't.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know if he was like, just preparing his campaign or if it was like Charles Barkley saying he's going to run for governor in Alabama for the last like 35 years,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But in Nashville, Tennessee, like many cities, they have a Christmas parade every year.
Oh, yeah.
And he has, for a long time, he has been the grand marshal of the parade.
Oh.
Well, he has been removed from said parade after he made some comments on Fox and Friends last week. On Friday morning, Kid Rock used an expletive to describe Joy. Is it Joy Barr of The View?
I thought it was Behar.
Is it Behar?
I don't know.
Write in and let us know.
Yeah,
I don't watch The View.
Yeah,
So.
I'm at work when it's on. So
Yeah. And I just, there's not any room on my DVR. It's full of Hallmark movies and Paw Patrol, and there's just not any room. So.
Right. Well, I know me and you are probably the demographic they're looking for to
Yes.
tune into The View. You know,
It just
so they're probably disappointed.
Me that I can't watch it every day.
Yeah.
But he was doing an interview, and he said, God forbid you say something a little wrong. You're a racist, homophobic, Islamophobic, and that is that. People need to calm down, get a little less politically correct, and I would say, love everybody, except I'd say screw that Joy Behar B word. Which,
okay.
it sounds to me like he's making a joke.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would denounce this if I thought he was serious.
Yeah, well, I mean, I probably, like I tell my kids, like, we don't want to intentionally say anything that hurts anybody's feelings. That's just a good general rule for life. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, like, have they had some back and forth or something? Is this like a rap battle, like rap beef or something? Like she called him a redneck and he decided to come back and call her this?
Well, I read that what prompted this was, and again, he may have just been trying to say a joke and be funny, but on The View, it was him, Sarah Palin, and Ted Nugent. They got to go to the White House.
That's the trifecta right there.
Yes, it's like the redneck trifecta.
Yes. None of them are from the South, by the way. I just want to bring that up to our listening audience.
Yes.
Like Sarah Palin's from Alaska, and I think Ted Nugent's like from...
He's the Motor City Madman.
That's right. He's from Detroit too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What is it with Detroit getting all our most famous rednecks?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fair.
That's crazy.
Can you even name a famous... I mean, okay, Alabama has plenty of rednecks.
Oh, yeah.
But do we have a famous redneck?
Well, I mean, Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah.
That's probably number one.
George Wallace.
Yeah, George Wallace. That's a big one,
He's
too.
more infamous.
Yeah. That's a big
Not
one.
a huge fan.
He did change later on in his career.
He did.
We have to point that out as Alabamians.
Yes.
It's like built into us. Everybody like, hey, we know he did like a lot of racist stuff, but like later on, he was like an okay
cool.
guy. Yeah,
he wouldn't do that now.
No,
well, he wouldn't do it now because he's passed on.
Yeah, he's definitely dead. Met him one time, by the way.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, got a matchbook from the governor. It has like Governor Wallace's name on it and state seal of Alabama. Yeah, we were touring the Capitol. And he came. He came wheeling out in his wheelchair, shook my hand and everything.
But anyway, they took a picture. These three, conservatives. They went to the White House and they took a picture in front of like Clinton's, photo. Like, was it
Yeah, right. Her like a portrait.
Yes, her portrait on the wall. They took a picture and she made the statement that, isn't this sad? This has got to be the saddest moment in White House history since the British burned it down in 1812.
That's a little bit of hyperbole.
I think so.
Right. But okay. I mean, I would say like all the stuff that Hillary's husband did in the Oval Office with an intern. That's pretty low right there on the list.
So he's actually defended this. He has come out since and he has said, he mentioned that, and he said, "You mess with the bull, you get the horn."
Oh, right.
So basically,
this
is Kid Rock. He's not sorry for anything he said.
Right.
And I've also read that a lot of the proceeds from the parade, they go to help like a children's hospital in the area. I wish I was more specific.
How do you raise money with a parade?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should get in the parade business.
Maybe. But allegedly, he donates a lot of his own money to that every year.
That's
so
good.
he kind of feels like he owns some of the parade.
Ah.
And I've read, some of I think his lawyer or somebody said that he's going to go down there anyway.
It's going to be like the unofficial.
It's going to be a showdown.
That's wild. I mean, don't do that, Kid Rock. Don't ruin a Christmas parade. Yeah, you're better than that. Well, I know everyone's surprised that Kid Rock was not like the gentleman he should have been, given his past history. But, I don't know that I would bar him from doing that. I may have been like, hey, if I was over the parade or whatever, hey, kid, Mr. Rock, we need you to go on the news and just throw out a little apology, say in the spirit of Christmas season, we don't want to make enemies. This is the time of year to bring people together and, celebrate this wonderful holiday. I don't know that Kid Rock's big on church, so you may not get him to go like we're
Probably
celebrating the birth of our Savior, But I mean,
he's more the stealing the baby Jesus out of the nativity
that's
type
right.
of guy.
Yeah. Like replacing
on
it with
on a late Saturday night after he's been drinking.
like replacing it with an empty like 6-pack of Natural Light or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely more his speed. Yeah, but that's how I think I would handle this, instead of just being like, you can't do it or whatever, especially if he's donating a lot of money to a good cause.
Yeah.
And also, I would say on his part, like, hey, man, I hope you just keep donating. Like, maybe you weren't donating so you get to ride on the fire truck in the parade or whatever,
Yeah, he made the mayor mad, and I think it was the mayor's office that removed him as grand marshal. But there's also some of the sponsors of this parade are some of the bars in Nashville, like some of the larger ones.
Yeah.
And they have been suspiciously quiet as far as, denouncing Kid Rock's comments. Because, I guess they want him to come play.
That's what I would think,
They're
too.
not going to say a bunch of mean things about Kid Rock because he brings a lot of money in there.
And I would think your Nashville bar crowd, they probably identify with Kid Rock a little more than Joy.
I would think so.
In this instance. And if you're going to be bringing a lot of people downtown for a Christmas parade who possibly may come in and get a few drinks afterwards, then you don't want to go on record on either side of the issue regardless. No. As a former business owner, I understand that. Yeah, I would just be quiet too. Might tell my close personal friends, like, hey, I think Kid Rock's kind of a jerk, but I'd be like, let's for public purposes here, we're trying to make money. We are a for-profit business, so I want as many people coming in as can.
Who do you think does more shows in Nashville? Do you think it's Kid Rock, or do you think it's the comic Joy Bar?
Yeah, I would think it's Kid Rock for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think Nashville's her city. Nashville's a really great city, though.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah,
a wonderful city.
But I typically don't think that sort of. What am I trying to say?
Like, her humor's not set up. I mean, that's more of a blue collar comedy tour.
Exactly. When I think of entertainment in Nashville, I think Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy, Kid Rock, Garth Brooks.
Oh yeah, or Chris Gaines. Just saw the thing. It's like Chris Gaines is just emo for country fans. That made me laugh. But anyways,
Chris Gaines is what happens when you let the voices in your head sign a contract.
Yeah, or you're just like, hey, I want to try something new. I've kind of gotten pigeonholed here into being the cowboy, and I actually like rock and roll, so I want to put out a rock record, but nobody's going to buy it if it's Garth Brooks.
Right.
So let me do this little gimmick, and I'll get some pub or whatever. It was a poor decision on Garth's part.
But then when you try to sell that on your name as a country music star...
Yeah,
he should have just simply done it as Chris Gaines. Right. He shouldn't have said, "Hey, I'm really Garth Brooks in disguise. Come buy my music anyway."
I felt like at the time maybe he was like, "I'm gonna be like Bowie in the '70s with like Ziggy Stardust or something,"
or Taylor Swift now.
Yeah, there you go. And it just didn't
She's
work
a
out for
crossover
her.
artist.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, it just didn't really work out for him like he hoped it would. Hard to criticize Garth Brooks considering he's made like millions and billions of dollars selling records around the world. But, I'm not a huge Garth fan when it comes to country. I'm more of a Waylon Jennings man myself. I like older country.
I like Kid Rock music better than Garth Brooks personally.
Yeah, I'd probably go for that too. Yeah. Although... I mean, Friends in Low Places coming in. I'm going to be singing at the top of my lungs. I just can't help it. It's just part of being an Alabamian, I guess, growing up in that era. All right, well, let's move on to another story. My friend Todd sent this to me. And this story, I really wanted to lead out with it as my first story because it has everything that you could want in a story if you're a listener. It has Florida. One of our favorite places.
Yes.
It has knife play.
Check.
It has a Dollar General.
Check.
Which I don't know if people around the country know what Dollar General is, but just use your mind based off the name. And it has flatulence.
Okay.
Which is a fancy name for farting, if you didn't know. This comes from the Miami Herald. The headline is, Woman passes gas in store, then pulls knife on an offended customer, cops say.
What?
Oh, yeah. Passing gas in public is often embarrassing. Depends on the crowd. I would just like to throw that in.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to have the
sometimes
right,
it's awesome.
you
Right.
got to have the right crowd for that
Exactly.
kind of thing.
But for a Dania Beach woman, doing so while waiting in line at a Dollar General store led to her arrest on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill.
Huh.
I don't know how you go without intent to kill. Like, if I got a deadly weapon.
I just wanted to cut him. I didn't want him to bleed out.
True. Right. Yeah. Is what police say she did after a man in line complained about the act that led to the charge. According to a Broward Sheriff's Office complaint, Shanetta Yvette Wilson, 37, was in the checkout line at the Dollar General store in Dania Beach on Sunday evening.
Good job.
Yeah. I'm getting all tongue-tied. So I'm so excited about this story. John Walker, the customer standing next to her, got into a verbal dispute in reference to the defendant farting loudly, according to an affidavit. Wilson allegedly pulled a small lock blade knife from her purse, opened the knife, and told the victim that she was going to gut him.
Dear goodness.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, I'm trying to see this from her perspective.
Yeah.
Did she expect him to just be like, I guess most everybody else just stand there and take it and not say anything?
I don't know.
She got mad because he said something about it?
Well, here's the first thing, like, the general rule, like, if you break large and you didn't mean to or whatever, is to blame it on somebody else, right?
You're right.
So, like, when the dude starts complaining, you point and be like, how was that guy walking by or whatever, and just let it go at that. You know?
Or just pretend it didn't happen. I have noticed that when in public,
yeah.
Most people want to pretend like that kind of thing doesn't happen. And a lot of times people won't say nothing.
You could also invoke the first commandment of farting, which is he who dealt it, smelt it.
He who smelt it,
he
dealt
who
it.
smelt it, dealt it. Yes. All right. I got too excited about that line. Anyways, while threatening to gut him, she pulled back her right hand with a knife if she was going to attack the victim with it.
Oh, man.
Walker was in fear that he was going to be stabbed by the defendant.
He was going to get attacked twice.
Right, yes. Like, lady, you're already killing my nose here. After police were called, Wilson was found by deputies in the area and was arrested and taken to the Paul Rain Detention Facility in Pompano Beach. Her bail was set at $2,500. And she looks like a lady who probably this is on the 27th. Probably had a few leftover casseroles, maybe some deviled eggs. Sweet potatoes.
Or as my grandfather called them, music roots.
I love it. And just, I mean, we've all been there. I don't know if maybe the general public that listens to this hasn't all been there, but I just remember one time, like, the worst place to ever, bust some wind out was in like a high school classroom because those like plastic seats you were in would just like reverberate.
Yes.
Like the tile floor and like the girl you got a crush on sitting like two desks over.
Or she's sitting on the clear other side of the cafeteria.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she's still going to hear.
And you just, you're like, man, I need to pull a little cheek sneak here and get a quiet one out. Like I'm just going to let this one slip, then I'm gonna, evacuate the area, and next thing you know, it's like rattling that whole room, and that's just rough. And I'm sure that's what happened to this lady. She's like, "Oh, got a little pain in my stomach, got a gas bubble. Let me just work this on out real easy, like." And next thing you know, it's like, and then you got to get into a knife fight with the guy.
Well, what was the knife fight going to accomplish?
I don't really know. I mean, I feel like if I was the dude, because when I read it, I put myself in his shoes. Like, I would have turned around, I would have laughed, number one, because I can't not laugh at people farting. And then I would have been like, hey, I think they got Gas X over on aisle 7 or whatever, and just let it go at that. There's nothing you could do. Once it's out, there ain't no putting it back in. So you just got to deal with it. So,
one of my favorite things to say is, like if I'm at work, I like to say, that wasn't me, that was you. Like whoever's looking at me,
That's good.
Like, hey, that wasn't me, that was you.
That's good.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
I like that one. Just go immediately throw it around on them. Like, yeah, I like that, Yeah, I've learned to control myself pretty good over the years, but when I was like a teenager, it was just like Fart City all the time. I couldn't do it. I just was there. And now I mean, at home, it's not, I feel more at home and I will do it, but I'm not doing it in like the workplace or stuff. If I do, I'll like go outside or something for a second, because you can't be doing that. Like now when I had the restaurant, I'd break it all over everybody. A little different work environment than I'm in now. These people are like adults and professional, and I go to church and stuff. I don't want to offend them, so
not those non-church attending heathens.
That's right.
That like to break wind all the time.
Those Philistines deserve it. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, if you're down in Miami and you're in a Dollar General, which I didn't know they had Dollar Generals in Miami, by the way.
I thought they had them everywhere.
I mean, I know they're exclusive to the South, I think the Southeast, but I didn't know that they reached that far down. I think it's the biggest retail chain in Alabama now is Dollar General.
Okay.
So the one they built on Early and Wallace over here, by the Piggly Wiggly where you can get Cajun Curl, although you're ordering it off of the website with the promo code EOP10. It's like the nicest Dollar General I've ever seen in my life. When they were building it, I was like, wow, they're putting in a Starbucks or something, And then it was like, oh, another Dollar General. Okay. Cause there's like literally 50 of them in this town.
Well, I was about to say, the one thing about Dollar General is if you need to go, but you miss your turn, just go a couple more
going.
blocks.
Right.
And
There'll be one
come
there.
up with another one.
That's right. Always interested people in Dollar General too. I like to go in there. Those are like my people. They're the type of people that'll fart out loud in a checkout line
and then threaten to gut you if you say anything about it.
And they have a lock blade in their pocket and they're going to pull it out and threaten to gut you.
Well, our next story, it is a common turn of phrase to say someone has skeletons in their closet when they have secrets they don't want other people to hear about or discover.
That's a descriptor of myself.
In this case, this man had literal skeletons in his closet because he was what's called an Indian corpse smuggler.
Oh, okay.
Headline here.
Hold on, let's get it. We're talking like Native American, or are we talking
from
like,
the country of India?
Okay.
He was Indian, as in the for real Indian.
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah. Like not
Christopher Columbus raping and pillaging the Americas and calling them Indians.
We named you the wrong thing like 600 years ago, something like that, and you've been saddled with that for the rest of the time. Our baseball team in Cleveland, we're going to use your wrong name. Anyways, yeah.
Indian corpse smuggler arrested with 50 human skeletons in his luggage.
Wow. 50.
They
weren't all together. I mean, they had to be like...
I'm assuming they've got to be pieces.
You think when he like pulled it out, he's like leg bones connected to the thigh bones connected to...
Maybe. Indian police are investigating a skeleton smuggling gang after a man was caught with skulls and bones of 50 different people on a train.
Wow.
No word if he was headed on his way to... was it Yale?
I don't know.
The Skull and Bones.
That's right.
For fraternity.
Right. Yeah, their fraternity that like all the, important people were in. They said the dogs loved him though. He had dogs following him everywhere. That was the weirdest thing to me.
Government railway police arrested the suspect corpse smuggler at Chopper railway station in India's eastern state of Bihar. The arrested man, identified as Sanjay Prasad, was carrying 16 human skulls and 34 other skeletal remains in his luggage, and he was traveling on the Balia Salda Express to Kolkata, from where police said he was headed for the border to Bhutan.
Okay.
So, police suspect that the skeletons, which according to the suspect were brought from Balia in Uttar Pradesh, were meant to be smuggled to China via Bhutan, reported the Times of India.
Okay. Chinese are in a lot of weird stuff, by the way.
Mr. Prasad was part of a gang who supplied human skeletons to tantrics and occultists in the Himalayan kingdom, police said. They also claim that there are a huge demand for skeletons among medical students in China.
Wow.
He has been sent to jail while further investigation were on to trace it. He has been sent to jail while further investigators were on to trace his accomplices, said Deputy Superintendent of Police Mohammed Taver. He was unclear how Mr. Prasad was alleged to have obtained the skeletal remains. While grave robbing in poor areas is not unheard of, it usually takes place in Muslim or Christian communities, as Hindus favor cremation. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, right. They'll light them up over there.
Morgue and crematorium workers, however, could potentially be bribed to perform swaps in which relatives are given substitute ashes while bodies are sold off.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, if you're...
Yeah, they like go clean out the barbecue grill or whatever, and like here's Uncle Joe,
Yes.
you know. And then,
But really, you're selling Uncle Joe to a corpse smuggler.
Yeah, a corpse smuggler.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's going to sell, your uncle's bones to perform some kind of ritual or perhaps train a radiologist in China.
Like a doctor.
Yeah. Mr. Prasad was detained during a routine inspection against liquor smuggling across state lines. Officers spotted suspicious movement of the suspect. I wonder what that was.
Yeah, that's avoiding all the dogs, you know.
He was detained and his bag was opened. Boy, I bet that was horrifying.
You don't expect to see that on the inside, especially when you're like, he's probably got some liquor.
He's probably got liquor or maybe some drugs. No, he's got dim bones.
Yeah, right. Hey, there's like 50 skulls in here and, like 100 femurs and all that. You're like, wow.
What are you doing with this?
Yeah.
Mr. Prasad had refused to confess during interrogation, but his mobile contacts are being scanned, so better hope you're not in that phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's if he's been texting you, you better get on the run right now.
Nepalese and Bhutanese currency, along with 2 identity cards with SIM cards with Nepal mobile phone numbers, were found in his possession, suggesting that the racket stretches way beyond India's borders. The seizure of foreign currency is a definite indication that the racket and its tentacles may have spread to foreign countries. In 2009, police in Bihar seized more than 67 human skulls from a bus, and they arrested the smuggler. And then in April 2004, 1,000 skulls and other parts of human carcasses were seized near the Falgu River in the same state. So I guess it's getting better, but apparently corpse smuggling is still a big deal in this area.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess people got, their own reasons for needing a skull. But,
well, I mean, a lot of people over there still believe in magical powers and spells and stuff. So they got to get them bones.
I guess so. I think a more brilliant plan would be is if you were into all that and you're like, man, I need a corpse or whatever, just go down to a local hospital, see somebody who's like, really sick and say, hey, when Paw dies, I'll give you $500 for his body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just take care of it that way. I would like to be able to sell my body when I die.
And then it's above board.
Yeah, right. And then everything's good. Like, hey, I'll give you $500 cash right now or whatever. I don't know what the market is for a corpse. I haven't bought one in a while. But $500 for her, and I'll hand it to you right now. Sign on the dotted line. When he dies, you call me. I'll come pick him up. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a lot of laws against that, but I would like to be able to sell my dead body to someone.
You can donate it.
Yeah, but I want to sell it.
As it is, but can you donate it with the gift of so much money?
Yes, right. Yeah, here you, AB.
Your gift of $500, and I'll donate my body to the body farm at UT.
Yeah, or you can, y'all can do whatever medical studies you want to. I actually heard somebody else say that we should be able to sell our organs before we die.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were like, I'm going to need a kidney or a liver or something they take after you die. I don't know how that works. My heart. Okay, let's say my heart because I can't use it. I could live without part of my liver and a kidney. We say you need a heart. You would go, hey, John, when you die, I'm going to give you like $5,000 right now. When you die, I got dibs on the heart, instead of just going into like a donor pool or whatever.
I would say the problem with that would be there's the risk of you outliving your client.
True, right.
But now kidneys, I
would sell a kidney right now.
I kind of get that because, I mean, right now, and this is something
actually, I wouldn't.
I was going to say. Now, it's something that not a lot of people talk about, but there is absolutely a black market on organs. Yeah. And kidneys, you can live with a kidney.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd be willing to, I would be willing to gamble that by the time I'm old and need a kidney, they'll have, like
fake ones,
either robot kidneys or grown kidneys in a lab that are just as good or maybe even better because they got Fabio genes in them or something,
You like get a Fabio kidney, you're like walking around with your shirt unbuttoned all the time, like wind blowing through your hair. I like it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just wanted to retract I would sell a kidney right now because, like somebody may be listening and they need a kidney and then they're going to call me and be like,
Oh, come on. How much would it take to get your kidney?
It'd take a lot, man.
Well, how much?
To me to like voluntarily get...
Everything is for sale. Put a number on it.
I've had a voluntary surgery once in my life,
Yeah.
and that was so I wouldn't have any kids anymore, and that didn't work, and I have kids now, all right?
You didn't do it right.
The doctor didn't do it right. I did everything I was supposed to do. I like even asked him if I needed to shave and I'll get everything ready. You know, I was like trying to be a good patient. And apparently I have like like my body is like a wonder of medical science and everything grew back together.
I recently went through hazmat training. That's called persistence.
Okay. Yeah.
When a substance will not leave, it just hangs around.
It just keeps going. Yeah. It's like, hey, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should study my body because I'm a 42-year-old man who does no physical activity, eats a horrible diet, and I am generally happy every day. I take no prescription medicines, and I feel like every day I wake up, I feel great. I don't have a lot of aches and pains and stuff. And I feel like, you know, I talk to people in my age range, and they're like taking all kind of stuff, and they got aches, and all my back's hurting and all this stuff, and really, I feel like I'm in tip-top shape. Now, I probably just jinxed myself now, and I'm going to like hurt my back tomorrow at work. But they should study my body.
So how much?
For a kidney?
No, for your body.
For my whole body?
For your whole body.
I mean, if I'm going to be dead, let's say if I die by 65, which is what I'm shooting to get to.
Right.
All right? That's my goal in life. Is if I can make it to 65, I feel like I've done pretty good. I would go $50,000 straight to my wife.
Okay.
That just for a dead body. If you want a living organ right now,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do a lot more talking. I mean, those numbers are gonna go up
Okay,
because
well,
I feel like part of my good like feeling and my health like ecosystem I have going on in my body that's maintained by like Mountain Dew and Dorito dust.
Your microbiome.
Yeah, my microbiome. There you go. Is the fact that I have everything I'm supposed to have. You know?
Yeah.
Like all that's working. Like you take a kidney out, I could go downhill quick.
Yeah.
I might have to start taking medicine every day, which is like a huge hassle. I don't know. My wife takes blood pressure pills and stuff, and how do you do that every day? I couldn't remember to do it. I'll get antibiotics if I get like a cold or something, which doesn't happen that often. They're like, oh, take this, 7 days once a day, and by day 3, I'm like, I don't want to take this. Like I'll just leave it there.
So how much for a kidney?
I mean, you're looking at 6 digits,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. 200,000?
$200,000.
Maybe for a kidney. Yeah. I mean, I would have to be able to like pay off my house.
Would you do 100,000?
Depends on who it's for. Family member, maybe. I got to be a friends and family discount. Total stranger, I may up to 3. We'll start. Oh, man. We'll start at 5 and we'll see where we can work down from. All right. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm an organ. Let me get it out there.
$190,000.
I don't know, maybe.
You're going to let him walk. You're going to let him walk out the door over $10,000.
Like you come in and lay down $190,000. It's going to be hard for me to say no. I'll just say that much. All right. If you got $190,000 cash, it'd be hard for me to say no.
What about $185,000? Cash money in a big duffel bag.
I'm not.
No. Briefcase.
Yeah, I like a briefcase. That's classy.
A nice
That's classy.
Samsonite briefcase. $185,000 in cash. I mean, you get to go on a spending spree. You get to drop this and go on a spending spree.
$185,000 would solve a lot of financial worries, but I'm sticking at $190. All right, you need the kidney. I'll just say that much. I got the negotiating power here. You're the one that's going to die. All right. I've already came off 10. Don't keep trying to get me to go lower, all right? Or I'm going to walk, okay? Yeah. And you're going to watch me and my healthy kidneys walk right out the door.
John's like, don't try to sell the salesman here,
right.
Okay?
Yes.
I know all your tricks.
And first of all, if anyone were to get my kidney, like the amount of like soft drinks they'd have to drink to like keep it happy, like used to what it's doing, would be just ungodly. So you're going to have that added cost along with it. Wow, I don't know how we got off on that trail. That's pretty
corpse smuggling.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you should just be able to buy a corpse if you want a corpse.
Yes.
From a willing seller, willing buyer. Free market and all or whatever. This is Trump's America. You can go buy a body if you want to.
Maybe the rule should be 4 generations and it's public domain. It's just dibs.
Yeah, whoever could get it out of the ground. That's man. That might cause some problems.
I have no idea who my family is 4 generations back.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, I can trace my mom's side. I can really trace my grandmother or my dad's side too, but there's some holes in it I can't fill.
Would it bother you if somebody was wanting their bones for something?
I wouldn't.
Like if I called you up on the phone and I was like, "Hey John, I got your great grandma. We're going to dig her up and we're going to do a prosperity spell." And I've been assured by a dude on YouTube it'll work. Are you in?
I don't know that I would come to it, but for like my great that I've never met or knew.
Yeah. That's my point.
That's no big deal. Like if it was like my grandmother or my immediate grandparents.
Yeah, because you knew your immediate grandmother,
right? And I knew my great grandparents too. So that's off limits. You can't get my great grandparents.
But you get back, 4 or 5 generations.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't care. I'd just be like, all right, man, have fun with that. Let me know how it works out. Yeah, let me know how it works out. If it works, holler at me because I'm gonna try it. Okay,
Yeah.
Save one of her bones here, and we'll try it if it works.
Save me some witch's brew.
That's right. Well, there's one thing we know about our audience, and that's that they're all well off and have a lot of money, enough money to buy a kidney, right?
Yes.
Well, they would likely maybe fall into this trap. Probably not, because I would feel like they're a little more...
Hold on, let that biker gang get
Goodness gracious, got the Hell's Angels pulling up. What is going on? I don't want to get off on a whole tangent, but I know that like motorcycles have to be loud so people can hear them, right?
Yeah, because they got to be able to fear them.
Well, yeah,
and
right.
The skull face mask don't do it.
Right. But I don't know why, like, when I'm sitting at a red light, they have to rev their engines all the time. It's like, hey, but I know you're right there, man. Like, does that, and I'm not a motorcycle guy. I can't make the fashion commitment to get into motorcycles. Like you got to like cut your sleeves off of your shirts and get like a lot of leather stuff to wear.
Get some ink.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely got to have a tattoo. Goatee, you're halfway there.
Yes.
Do you need a motorcycle? Let's find you a motorcycle.
I need a motorcycle.
Okay. See, I'm not a motorcycle guy.
I'll trade a kidney.
I don't know. I tell you what, man. If I sell my kidney, I'll buy you a motorcycle.
Yes.
All right. Now, my choosing now, it may be used,
on a Honda.
Slightly worn. Yeah.
Right around a little.
You got like a little mini
scooter.
bike. Yeah. You got to spend like $300 on it. Here you go, Tiny. I'll paint some flames on it. But
get one of those little pink helmets with flowers on it that don't even have the face guard.
But I don't know why, like if they have to rev it to keep it going or nothing. Like I always want to roll down my window and be like, hey, man. Like, do you have to do that? Because
they're doing that because it's loud.
I mean, that's what it is.
Because
Is
it
it more
sounds
like
awesome.
a, hey, everybody look at me and my cool motorcycle?
That's what it is. It's
All
look
right.
at me and my cool motorcycle.
Right.
Don't you wish you were me?
Right.
Stay in your lane or else me and my brothers will take you out
me
back
and the banditos
and
will
we'll string you up.
Yeah, kill you, sell you
Yes.
to the cartel, and then trade your body for methamphetamines or something,
Yeah.
whatever. Right. Yeah, but I understand that, hey, we got to be loud while we're traveling down the road so you don't, merge over onto me. You can hear it and all that, which, by the way, I listen to my radio full blast max. and unless we're stopped at a red light and you're right beside me, I don't know you're anywhere around, guys. So, I just like loud music. Sorry. All right. Whole tangent there. Sorry about that. Okay. Payless shoe stores. You've heard of Payless?
I have.
I'm sure most of our audience has, at least in the United States. They opened a fake luxury shoe store with $600 shoes. This comes from Fortune.com, so it's legit.
Wait, is this one of those? Excuse me, sir. Are you aware you've been drinking
Basically.
decaf Colombian crystals?
Basically. Shoe retailer Payless recently had a bit of fun at the expense of some fashion influencers in Santa Monica, California. First, we may want to talk about what an influencer is. Do you understand?
I have heard the term Instagram or
Influencer.
social media influencer,
Yeah, right.
and I think this is people with large followings,
Right. And then
companies will pay them money to wear their stuff because they know that this guy's
he's got
1.5 million followers. Half of them are going to go out and get his shoes because they're so cool.
Just because he's got them all. And he says they're cool.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great way to advertise, by the way. It just is if you can get people who are really popular to come in. I would like, sorority girls would come to the restaurant. I would be like, look, if you will take a picture and of your sandwich and put it on your Instagram and tag Roly Poly in it, then I'll let you eat
in a pair of
lunch for
bicycle
free.
shorts,
Right.
and
No,
a tank top.
I'd be like, I'll let you eat for free, and then I'd see when they'd tag it or whatever, and give them their next sandwich for free or whatever, and then all their friends.
And then a bunch of lonely dudes come in,
exactly,
wanting sandwiches.
But as long as they got cash in their hand, I don't care
Yes.
who they are. Anyways, the retailer recently took over a former Armani store, stocked it with Payless merchandise, and then invited fashion influencers to attend a party celebrating the store's opening.
This is awesome.
But there was a twist. They thought they were attending the store opening for a new high-end designer, Paylessy. Not looking at shoes from Payless. Influencers who, and this is a brilliant part, my favorite paragraph in it. Influencers who attended the party paid between $200 and $600 for Payless shoes that are traditionally priced between $20 and $40.
They actually sold these shoes to them?
Yes, they actually paid out of their pocket for them.
So they didn't get up to the register and then they're like,
guess
that'll be
what?
$50.
Right, yeah.
Because you're shopping at
You're
Payless
shopping
shoes.
at Payless, right.
What?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that.
No, I love the sound
It
effect.
was like cha-ching.
Please don't dub in the other horn. Leave that one. And many of the guests commented on how their purchases were sophisticated or made with high quality materials. The goal was to remind customers that the retailer is a place to shop for affordable fashion. Payless is not traditionally a brand that influencers associate with high fashion. More than $3,000 worth of shoes were sold during the store's first few hours of opening.
Oh, that is awesome.
Those purchases and the reactions when the buyers discovered they were buying Payless shoes will appear in a series of ads for the retailer on cable networks such as Lifetime and Bravo, and as well as their social media.
I bet they're going to be mad.
Oh, yeah. As for all of those purchases, the influencers who made the purchases won't actually be charged for those shoes. They did get to keep the shoes.
Okay.
So they were like, hey, here's your money back, and you keep
Please
the
don't
shoes.
sue us.
Right, yeah.
For
But
ruining your image.
I'm sure since you showed up, you probably somehow consented to us to use your image and likeness, for grand opening purposes of Paylessy. And so you're stuck with us making fun of you on social media for the rest of your life because it's the internet and how dumb you are to buy these shoes that are $40.
I can't wait to hear these.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be so awesome. Number one, because
It's such a great idea.
yeah, the people that are of the influencer, thing, most of them are extremely annoying to me. Not that I follow a lot of influencers or stuff. I follow a lot of people who think they're influencers.
That's
It's
true.
because
everybody on Instagram is an influencer of somebody, right?
Yes, you'll read their bio and it's model influencer, and I'm like, you're my friend's daughter. You work at Jack's over here on Highway 43. You're nothing, or whatever.
I was raised to be honest.
Right.
I was always told my whole life, and look. Like everybody else, I have occasionally told a lie, but it's something I've really tried hard to stamp out of my life.
Yeah.
And most of the time, if I don't want to tell the truth, I just won't say to something.
Right.
Tara's like, did you eat my piece of pie? And I'll just be like, what was that? What'd you say?
What was that? Something about flies?
Yeah. I guess that's my way of trying not to lie, but at the same time, not share the truth.
Yeah.
Point is, I really like to refer. I want to be a podcaster so bad.
Right.
I guess technically I am, but I still feel like I have to put amateur in front of it, or else I feel like I'm lying. So a lot of times I tell people I'm an amateur podcaster.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing this for a living.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. I can see that, but essentially, which I don't really have the desire to tell people I'm a podcaster. Most of the time, when people are like, oh, you do a podcast? I'm like, let's set your expectations really low going in because we don't really know what we're doing and we're getting better as we go.
Yes.
But I'm always like, do I want this person to get into some personal stories I've told about my dog possibly being racist and all that? Whereas you're like, everybody needs to listen, which is the attitude we should both have. And I'm good with strangers and stuff. I'm great with that. But people I really know, I'm like, ooh, did I talk about them on the show and now they're going to listen and then I'm going to be in trouble?
Yeah, I try to bait people that way.
Yeah.
I try to trick them into downloading the show and listening if I'm like, hey, we're talking about you.
Yeah, that's not bad. You know, Deidre told all those people in that foster parent class about it, and I was like, oh, man.
Did anybody start listening?
They all said they listened to a few episodes.
I tell you what,
None of them have left a review that I know of.
I was going to say, I think you're good because I have learned that strangers is really your best bet when it comes to listening to your show. Yeah. Because when we first started this, I mean, I was telling everybody to the point they were probably tired of me talking about it.
Right.
You know, trying to get people to listen. And, you know, and there's some people did.
Right.
But I give this advice to other people because, you know, I talk to people online who are thinking about starting their own podcast. And I tell them, hey, tell all your friends and family, but don't get your feelings hurt when they don't listen.
Exactly.
Because a lot of them won't.
Right.
They'll tell you they will. They won't.
They won't. Right. No, I agree. Well, you know, I don't hold it against people for not listening.
Yeah.
I mean, we may not be what they want to listen to. That's cool. But
I can't really imagine that. But
yeah,
I suppose it's true.
I mean, we're both likable dudes.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like people would just support us.
We're changing the face of the internet for the better here.
Right. Yeah. We're just trying to have a little fun and let everybody else enjoy it. Hear about some weird stuff. I mean, these are the people we live among. They will fart on you in Dollar General and they will smuggle your corpse once they stab you. That's just the people that we have.
Meth.
Yeah, for meth. Yeah, especially in Florida.
By Hell's Angels.
Yeah, by Hell's Angels who rev their motorcycles up so everybody looks at them.
While John's trying to listen to Grateful Dead.
Exactly. At like volume 63, which is a top volume in my car, by the way, which is a weird number for your volume to end at, but that's what it does.
I would have made it 69.
Oh, nice. So nice. So nice. He's saying that because this is his old football number, kids.
Yes.
Just so you know. He's a dominant football player.
Haha, yes, football. Ask me what position I played.
I don't know whose turn it is because we got to talking.
I got a short one here.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
New Mexico passport. Confused marriage license clerk doesn't believe the southwestern state is in the United States.
Great.
A New Mexico resident didn't just have to prove his love before getting married. He had to prove New Mexico is a state. Which I imagine that's when you whip out Google Maps.
Right. My question would be to the guy, like, were they in New Mexico when this happened?
No,
they
were not.
All right.
When Gavin Clarkson and his future bride applied for a marriage license in Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
So this is the nation's capital.
That's right.
You think they would know?
I've been there. Went there this summer.
I mean, are they not counting votes? I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know. I'm saying we see how our nation works, right?
That's true.
Okay.
Well, they went earlier this month, and when they applied for a marriage license, they were told they needed to provide an international passport to be approved.
Okay. All right.
You know you are from flyover country when you are applying for a marriage license. Give them your New Mexico driver's license, and they come back and say, my supervisor says we cannot accept international driver's licenses.
The supervisor.
I know. So this wasn't even just the guy at the desk.
Right.
This was his boss.
I say he actually was like, "Oh, I got to ask my supervisor about this," and then the supervisor was like, "Oh yeah, no man, that's they got to have a passport." Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to see the best in people.
Right.
Is there a chance that maybe the guy walked back there and said, "Hey, I got a Mexico driver's license"?
And possibly. If
Maybe.
you're the supervisor, that's exactly what you're saying.
That's what you say.
Hey, don't pin this on me. He said
He didn't
just
say
Mexico.
New Mexico.
Right.
He said Mexico.
I didn't even get to look at it, boss. You know.
Anyway, he posted about this on Facebook. Clarkson, a former deputy assistant secretary in the Interior Department, told the Las Cruz Sun News the clerk checked with his supervisor several times.
Oh, man. Not looking good for soup.
Before the office was able to confirm that New Mexico has, in fact, been a state for 206 years.
Yeah, been around a little while. That's right.
I mean, we kind of fought a war over it,
Yeah,
didn't we?
yeah, all that.
I mean, I know it was Texas, but...
Yeah, Texas gets all the glory.
But wasn't New Mexico in there a little
I think
bit
they
too?
got annexed in or something. I think Texas was bigger, or something at that time.
Okay. Clarkson said the whole ordeal took about 20 minutes, and the clerk did apologize. Sir, sorry, I'm an idiot.
Okay. That would have been my response, too.
I went to school.
I am an idiot.
I went to school in Alabama.
I was like, man, I just glanced at this thing, saw Mexico. You look a little Mexican. And I just put 2 and 2 together there. And that's on me. I'm an idiot. I'll let you punch me in the arm. That's always a good thing. I like to tell people when I do make some boneheaded decision.
Get this. The new Mrs. Clarkson thinks the most hilarious part was when the clerk complimented me on my English.
Oh, you just digging.
Your New Mexico, what am I trying to say? Your New Mexican accent is virtually non-existent.
That's right. Golly.
A spokesperson for the District of Columbia Court said that a clerk made a mistake regarding New Mexico's 106-year history as a state. We very much regret the error and the slight delay it caused a New Mexico resident in applying for a D.C. marriage license. Leah Gerkowitz, Director of Media and Public Relations for D.C. Courts, told the Sun News.
Wow.
According to the news, Clarkson is also a member of the Choctaw Nation.
Okay.
Apparently, it would have been easier had I just shown her my tribal ID.
Yep.
So,
that's wild.
That's hilarious.
I mean, that guy at work's just, every time they see him, they're ribbing him about New Mexico being a state, Or, like, do you let that guy go? I don't know.
I don't know, but I tell you what, if I'm that guy's coworker, I immediately go down to Denny's and get like the little kids menus that have the United States and all the states on it.
Yes.
I mean, I get a stack of them, and he gets one in his locker every single day.
Right? Yeah, I know. That's like I would put like a sombrero, on his chair, on his desk or something when he gets there. I would mess with him so hard, like put a bottle of El Paso, salsa and stuff in there. Just give him a hard time.
Yeah.
He deserves it, I guess.
And I mean, look, I'm not the smartest person either.
Not
I have
at all.
made plenty of mistakes.
Yeah.
And when I did, I paid for them.
Yeah.
With the same kind of ribbing I would dish out to this
Exactly.
guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's just what happens.
Especially in a work environment.
Yeah.
I mean, you just get it that way. That's how people are,
Yeah.
That's just life, And if you think New Mexico's another nation or part of old Mexico, as my cowboy friends would say.
Part of old Mexico.
Yeah, right. Also, like I say, I don't know a lot about the Spanish-American War. Not all up on it. All I really know about it is the Alamo, and that a bunch of people from Tennessee went out there and basically saved Texas. And Texas likes to act like, oh yeah, we're all big and bad. But if it weren't for the people from Tennessee, y'all would be part of Mexico now.
They did function as an independent nation for 10 years, 9 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And they get lumped in with all of us in the South, like the Civil War too, because they seceded.
They did.
They didn't contribute a whole lot to the campaign. I don't know for sure. I was told that once, but
I was told that once.
I feel like they've taken a bad rap. Now, Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, all of us, Louisiana. Yeah, we deserve what we get. We try to break off. I think Texas was more like, hey, this is our chance to be independent again or whatever.
Yeah.
And they didn't, there weren't like a whole lot of major battles out in Texas and stuff. Anyways, I'm an very amateur historian, and all that's probably wrong. But I do know that New Mexico's a state. I can name every state, by the way, and most of their capitals. So,
can you name all 56 of them?
Yes, I can name all 56 states. Was that Obama?
That was President Obama back in 2008. Yeah. He was campaigning, and he made a statement at one of his rallies that they had been to 56 states.
Yeah.
Which told me, as at the time, a conservative conspiracy theorist, oh, he's campaigning in other nations.
Yeah, I remember some people got up in arms about that. But I was like, man, it's just like a slip. It ain't no big deal. Don't get too mad about stuff like that. But then again, if Donald Trump says that tomorrow, then people are going to go crazy on him. We don't even know how many states we got. Yeah, that's just the way politics works.
You forget we have apparently we have very few presidents who actually know all the states.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that should be on the test.
Yeah,
at the primaries.
I bet you Andrew Jackson didn't know we had 50 states because we didn't. Exactly. So he's no worse than Barack Obama. he did force Native Americans to
gonna
go on
say.
the Trail of Tear. Killed a lot of Indians. You know?
I'm not
I mean,
sure.
Native Americans.
I'm not sure he really knew how the Supreme Court functioned either.
Right. It's very true.
They've made their decision. Now let them enforce it.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm going to do what I want.
He was a pistol, man. I've
was.
been to his house before, the Hermitage, by the way. It's pretty awesome
Yeah.
if you're into that kind of stuff. I took pictures inside of it, by the way, which
Mm-hmm.
you're not supposed to do. If anybody from the Historical Society's listening, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
if you tell me no photography's allowed, I'm taking all the pictures I can. Did the same thing at Mount
Because it
Vernon.
makes you think, hey, I've got the only one.
Exactly, right. I'm like, hey, on my phone are the only pictures. Right. I did the same thing at Mount Vernon because they were like, no pictures allowed. I walked around the whole house, took pictures, like discreetly. So when you look at them, they're all like sideways or like off kilter and everything. But I still got pictures of interior of George Washington's house. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, you know, the Mount Vernon Society or whatever you are. Okay, anyways, let's move on to this story. High school, this was sent to us by Lindsay Jones, one of our greatest
Yes.
contributors. You know, her husband actually sent it to her. I don't know if he listens. His name's Jeremy, and but if he does, we appreciate it, Jeremy. You passing it along. If not, Lindsay can pass that message along to him. It's out of Byron, Illinois. This is an AP story. High school football players are suspended for naked Oreo run.
What?
Yeah. 10 football players at a Northern Illinois high school were suspended from the team for 3 games last month after they ran across a field naked with Oreo cookies wedged between their buttocks. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like typical hazing.
Yeah, right. My question, and I don't think the article gets into it, is like, were they wedged in there like long ways or like flat? You know, I don't know. I'd just like to, you know, I would need a little more information. The Rockford Register-Star reports that the Byron High School players were suspended for indecent exposure, but that school administrators concluded they went on the Oreo run at the school's football field voluntarily and were not victims of hazing. The paper reported the story after obtaining a letter sent to parents of students who admitted to participating in the run in October. All right, kids, let's listen to Uncle John give you some advice. And this is advice that you can take with you for the rest of your life. Admit nothing, ever admit anything.
What about
and deny everything.
what about video?
Until there is absolutely no other way out, admit nothing. Don't go into your principal when he's like, hey, did you guys run across a field naked with some Oreos in your butt cheeks? And go, yeah, you got us. You're like, nope.
I would be like, well, I'll tell you what we weren't doing. We weren't pooping on the football
That's
field
right, around the running track.
like the pooper attendant did.
I would, you just don't admit to that. And then when they're like, well, let's pull up the video evidence, and you're like, okay, you got me. Because you're still getting in trouble, you know, either way. But
There was a guy.
they may not have video evidence.
There was a guy down at the plant that got in trouble.
Oh, yeah?
And they had video of him. And he told him, he said, that don't look like me.
I love it.
When it was clearly him. He said, I can see how somebody might think that was me. But
Yeah,
it's not me.
No, it's totally not me. Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, this day and age, you're pretty much getting videoed everywhere
It's
at all times.
it's a deep fake.
Yeah. Yes. So anyways, they sent a letter to the parents, and the kids were forced to sit out 3 games, the last of which was the 3A state championship game, and Byron lost 24-20 to Monticello High School. Congratulations to Monticello High School on winning. Haven't been to Monticello yet and take pictures inside of it, but I'll get there one day. But that's the end of the article. But I don't know, like, do you suspend a kid for that? I mean, like, they voluntarily did it. You, of course, hey, we don't want you running across a football field naked, but it's not like they did it during a game. I'm sure it was like they snuck in there one night.
And
I
was about to say, I'm assuming it wasn't during school hours.
Right.
So,
and also,
you would think you might could get them for trespassing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think you could really do a whole lot.
You know that this is like from up north, because if this was Alabama, ain't no 10 kids on the football team getting suspended for the playoffs, you know, 3 games, the state championship game coming up. No way. Nope. They'd be like, you got to clean bathrooms, you know, after school or something. Yeah. But you're still an active student because we still need you on the team, man.
You get suspended after the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We'll talk about this after the season's over, son. Yes. That's how it works down here. That's why we're better at football than most places. Yeah. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but
the truth.
You guys don't take your football seriously enough. But yeah, I don't know. I was hazed in high school. I did some hazing in high school. Yeah, I'm not a fan of hazing.
It was usually swirlies, which isn't that big a deal, especially if you let them flush first.
When I was on the football team, when we were in middle school, a few of us got to practice with the varsity. I guess because either they felt sorry for us or they thought we had promise or they wanted us to know what was going on when we all came up from 8th grade. Well, one of the things the varsity team did would take all the blocking dummies and beat like the rookies out, like to death with them, in the locker room, right. Just slamming you with them. And they're just blocking dummies. It's not really hurt you or anything, but I mean, it hurt. But, no broken bones and stuff.
You're like red as a lobster the next day.
So you just had to take it, because all those guys were like seniors and we were in 8th grade. So we decided we were going to do that on our football team. And so we were taking kids and dragging them in the locker room and beating them with the dummies.
The blocking dummies.
And Coach Hughes, who was our coach and middle school gym teacher and also the defensive coordinator of the high school team, walked in and caught us.
Uh-oh.
And he had a nub. Everybody from Fayette knows Coach Hughes. He had like a finger that was cut off. And he like pointed that nub at me and was like, we're going to talk about this before practice this afternoon. So we're getting dressed out in all of our like gear and stuff, and he comes in and he calls me and like 3 other guys in here, and we go outside, and he's got like the entire defensive line lined up. He's like, all right, now we're gonna let them tackle y'all, and see how y'all like it. And I was so scared, and I think he gave us the option of either like running laps or getting tackled by like grown men basically when I was in 8th grade, weighed like 115 pounds. And I was like, I'll take the laps, coach. I can run all day, so I had to run like 100 laps. Only one of us I remember, who was Zeb Cannon, who's passed away, by the way, was like, nah, let him hit me, And he got destroyed.
But in doing so, I bet he got some respect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they looked at me and the other guys and were like, look at these jokers.
They'd rather run 100 laps than man up and take one tackle.
That's right. Yes. I was like, yes, they will break me in half. Like these guys got mustaches and like hair under their arms and stuff. Like, no way I'm lining up against them.
The thing I remember Coach used most for was he used to say, I'm going to have to bust your
Oh, that's right. I'm going to bust you, son.
I'm going to have to bust your
I'm going to bust you. Well, they would like push those middle school like bleachers up.
Yes.
Somebody was like hanging off one of the side goals one time, like, and they were hollering, I'm the king. And he walked out of his office into the gym and he like pointed that nub at him and he's like, come on down, son. I'm about to crown you. But people don't know, like, he played in the NFL for a little bit. He was a tremendous athlete and really like a super awesome guy. Like once I got older and got to know him, he was a really just like a good, funny dude, but very intimidating.
Yes.
All right. That's all I have about my high school football hazing.
I've got one last one. And do you remember the MAGA bomber?
Yes, I do. Yes. Very interesting van he drove.
He has been accused of a urine throwing incident.
Okay.
In his trial.
All right. In his trial.
Yes. Mail bomb suspect Cesar Sayoc was accused earlier this year of throwing urine from his van at 2 women on a moped.
Oh, wow.
In an apparent road rage incident in Florida, according to a police report. So did this guy just have a bag of urine on hand?
I mean, I guess so.
For just
keep
such
it
an occasion.
handy. Right.
For just such an occasion.
Be prepared is the motto of the Boy Scouts.
The Hollywood Police Department report obtained Friday says that Sayoc pulled up near a moped at a traffic light in his white van. Why is it always a white van?
It's got to be. I mean, that's standard. If you're crazy, it's a white van.
With pro-President Donald Trump political stickers all over it. I'm sure we've seen the pictures.
Yeah, that's right.
He began yelling obscenities and tossed 2 vials of urine at the women, drenching one of them.
Oh, okay.
The women, 32-year-old Indiana Para and Rimbo Gomez, 29, told police that Sayoc attempted to chase them during the March 16th encounter and possibly tried to run them off the road.
Yeah.
But they swerved into a warehouse parking lot and he drove on. Man, this guy.
Yeah.
One of the women told a police officer that a maniac Trump supporter threw urine on us, and they knew it was urine by the smell.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's tough. Probably been marinating in that hot van. Oh, man.
I hope it wasn't like early morning coffee urine.
Oh,
that's the worst.
That is the worst. That's weird. Is that we both know that. And people listen, I guarantee you, that drink coffee are the same way. Yeah, it's a tough one.
It says the women reported the license tag on Sayoc's van. They gave a description of both him and the vehicle, and they gave samples of clothing for DNA testing.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was DNA in urine.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I guess it's everywhere nowadays.
I guess so, yeah. I've seen a few CSIs. I should probably know that.
Court records, however, show that Sayok was never charged. Well, he's going to be charged now.
Yeah, they're going to add everything they can onto him.
Months later, authorities say he began sending out pipe bombs. He was arrested on October 26 in Plantation, Florida, in an auto parts store parking lot with his white van. Sayok, 56, is accused in New York of mailing 16 improvised explosive devices to Democrats, critics of President Trump, and to CNN. He faces life in prison if convicted. Which, I mean, you can't be sending out bombs. I don't know.
I thought none of them were like functional though.
Okay. I have read reports that they were functional and didn't go off.
Okay.
And then I have read other reports that said that they were not.
Right.
I don't know what the truth is.
Yeah, I don't either.
But,
Like if I mail you like an Acme, stick of dynamite that's like never going to blow up, can I be arrested for mailing a bomb?
Here's a perfect example. I remember back, in college, my college days.
Yeah.
There's a guy he was a buddy of mine who he took a whole bunch of random wires and some batteries and some road flares and some stuff, and he electric taped it all together, and he hid it in my dorm room one night.
Wow.
And gave me like a list of clues to find it,
Yes.
I don't think he should be charged with making a bomb because it wasn't a bomb. It was all just a joke.
Right.
And I didn't get blown up.
Right. And and before anybody gets it twisted, I'm not like defending the MAGA bomber dude. I don't care what they do to him. If he calls some people to freak out, that's fine with me. I was just curious, can they still charge you if you just freak people out by mailing them stuff? I don't know. Like if I mail you an envelope of powder and you think it's like anthrax or whatever,
but really it's just sugar.
Like, or flour or like cocaine.
Maybe they could charge you with harassment or something.
But I don't
think
like
you
that.
should get like a terrorist charge slapped on you.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I'm not an expert on
but
the law.
Back to Sayok. I mean, he's
the pea thrower.
He's a crazy dude. He's
definitely
like you said. I'm not too worried about what they do with him.
People who in my experiences in life, limited with people like this, but people who like pee in bottles and stuff, instead of the normal toilet, they've always been like super weird. Like we had a guy that worked at summer camp, and instead of getting up in the middle of the night and going over to the latrine and peeing, he would keep like an empty Gatorade bottle by his bed, pee in it, and then throw it away, And I don't know where that dude is now, but I guarantee it's probably jail. Not all Boy Scouts turn out to be successful.
Right.
And our own problems. Yeah. Anyways.
It goes on to mention some of the other stuff he did, but, we all know what he did.
Yeah.
Fortunately, no one got hurt.
Right.
I hope that they weren't actually bombs.
Right.
But
yeah, definitely.
But again, you can't be throwing pee at people. You can't be mailing bombs to people.
This dude sounds like he was a menace to society anyways.
I agree.
And
the most the most damning piece of evidence against him is that white van.
That's rough right there, man. That's rough.
If I'm sitting on the jury, that right there is enough to convince me he's a menace to society.
First of all, man, where do you get like that many stickers? I don't know where to get that many stickers. I had a stickered up car one time with Grateful Dead stickers and stuff and all that. But it was nothing compared to that. Dude had like stickers on top of stickers on top of stickers.
I didn't know President Trump had that many different style stickers.
Well, that's what I say. Like, if you're Trump, do you sue him now for bootlegging your sayings and everything? Like, hey, I trademarked
defamation of character.
Right? Yeah. Like, I don't want to be associated with you. Trump will throw out a lawsuit. Maybe he should do that. Maybe might be a good PR move.
I tell you what, if the news gets slow, or maybe he comes under attack.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's exactly what he needs to do.
Right.
Sue this guy.
He should hire Michael Cohen to represent him. Just as that would make people shoot themselves.
Hire Michael Avenatti.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Avenatti. Yes. Yeah.
Assuming he's not in prison for domestic abuse.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't even know what happened with all that, but yeah, if he really beat that woman or not.
I think he's got court trial pending.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Like you said, I'm not sure, but
yeah,
But I mean, following his advice, are we not supposed to believe victims?
Well, I mean,
I thought we were supposed to believe women.
That's the ironic part about all of it,
Yes.
But who knows? If somebody's setting him up or whatever. I ain't even wading off down into that. I'll say something wrong that would get both sides mad at me. There's no way to come out of that on the right side. I'll just say that I quit worrying about that Avenatti dude a long time ago.
Yes.
You know, like I was just like, man, there's too many other important things in life to worry about than some dude, you know, that's like getting on Twitter saying a bunch of crazy stuff and is representing an adult film actress. Yeah. I was just like, man, there's way other important things in life than that. Okay, we want to thank our sponsor, Cajun Curl, the world-famous Bayou Blended Spice, for their support. Check them out at CajunCurl.com. You can order their spice there and their Cajun Curl cutter for potatoes on CajunCurl.com. If you use the promo code EOP10, you will get a 10% discount. Makes great stocking stuffers.
It does.
So you might want to go ahead and order it up right now. I don't know what their shipping time looks like, but let's just pretend you're going to get it by Christmas, and if you don't, it'll be a pleasant New Year's surprise.
Don't do what you did last year and wait till Christmas Eve to start ordering your stuff.
That's right.
Do it now.
Yes. It was created on the jolly old Elm Bayou in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana.
The Holly Jolly Elm
Oh,
Bayou.
yeah, that's right. Holly Jolly. It's a seasoning that goes on everything. If you like cooking or eating, this is a spice for you. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice goes well with chicken, beef, pork, potatoes, fruit cake, Christmas cookies, candy canes, and anything else you can think of putting it on. The spiral potato cutter is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use, easy to clean, and will allow you to make your own chips using the Cajun Curl spice. If you want to make Santa Claus happy, leave him some homemade potato chips with Cajun Curl spice out on the mantle at night, and he will probably leave you more presents. Definitely,
He might do it.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's a given. I know Santa personally. Actually, saw him yesterday. On the website, CajunCurl.com, you can not only order the original Bayou Blended Spice, but the Cajun Curl chip cutter as well. You'll also find recipes there, and they are mind-blowing. You can locate your nearest retailer or order your own. If your local grocer doesn't carry world-famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, ask them to start stocking it. Here locally in Tuscaloosa, it's available at Vowels on Skyland Boulevard, at South's Finest Meats, and the Piggly Wiggly over by the nicest Dollar General in Alabama on Lurleen Wallace.
Downtown Northport.
That's right, Lurleen Wallace. First female governor in Alabama, by the way. All of their products are made in the USA, so you not only do you enjoy the taste of Cajun Curl, but you also feel patriotic while you enjoy your meal. It's all natural, low salt, and it has a little kick to it, but it doesn't burn your lips. World famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice. Taste the spice, but not the heat. Check them out at CajunCurl.com and use the promo code EOP10 to get a 10% discount.
We ask that our audience use the spice, but we don't ask our audience to pay full price.
That's right. That rhymes, and it's amazing. I like it. Yes. Community news.
We don't have a lot of community news.
That's right.
So
That's right. Community.
And you know what we do when we don't have community news?
Yeah.
We talk about football.
That's right. Let's talk about football.
The playoff has been decided.
Yes. As we've recorded this today, it came out, right?
Just a few hours before we got together. And Alabama's 1, Clemson is 2, Notre Dame is 3, and Oklahoma jumped Georgia at number 4.
Okay.
And we will be playing Oklahoma on December 29th.
Okay.
And Clemson gets the easy game
Against
playing Notre Dame
yeah.
at number 3.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about Notre Dame. Their best win is against Michigan, like at the beginning of the season, I believe. And
they didn't have to play a conference championship.
Didn't have to play a conference championship.
Which, I mean, to be fair, neither did we last year.
We're not talking about last year. I want to talk about this year. We're focusing on the 2018 season right now. Okay. Not talking about last year. Yeah, and I was saying I heard a guy last night that was talking about, whether Notre Dame should be in or not. And he brought up this whole, ESPN owns the playoffs. It also owns the SEC network and the ACC network. And would it be more advantageous for the committee, who are basically, there's a lot of conference presidents on there, to leave out Notre Dame and put in, say, Ohio State and Oklahoma. So it would force Notre Dame to have to join a conference. But, of course, Notre Dame has their own TV deal, and that's the only reason they don't want to join a conference is because they're on NBC on Saturdays. Prayers to all the Irish fans who are forced to watch football on NBC, college football on NBC. But, yeah. I don't know. If Notre Dame is a big name, big draw. We played them in the Orange Bowl, smoked them, by the way. I mean, completely dominated them. Just want to bring that up. But my friends who went down there said their fan base was huge, and we were outnumbered. But, I mean, after about 6 minutes into the game, they weren't cheering too loud anymore, and they just had to sit there and watch their team get their butt beat by Alabama.
And your best player had an invisible girlfriend.
True. That's true. That's very embarrassing. But, I mean, Manti, it could happen to the best of us, I guess,
Well, it did happen to the best of Notre Dame.
Yeah, right. He ought to be more embarrassed about Eddie Lacy running all over him all game long. He's just like whiffing, he didn't want to square up on him and tackle him or whatever. But, Eddie Lacy was a beast of a man, still is. Put on a lot of weight since he turned pro. I don't even know if he's still on the active roster. But, yeah, so it'll be fun to see Notre Dame get beat again. As an Alabama fan, I don't really want to play Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's really good. We have not been playing well as of late.
But we've got a whole month to rest up, practice, get healthy.
Right. But I think the biggest takeaway for everybody, and most people, at least in the South, definitely knows this, or follow sports know this, but not all of our fans do, is the Jalen Hurts story, which really would bring a tear to a glass eye. It was so amazing.
It was a storybook ending.
It really was.
Last year, in the national championship, we were playing Georgia, on that same field, by the way.
Right.
Tua had to come in at halftime and save the day.
Right.
And lead us to victory.
Jalen had been our starter for 2 years.
Yes.
He had
taken us to two national championships.
Two national championship games. They had only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
In his whole career. And, we were not moving the ball on offense. And after halftime, Tua came in, replaced Jalen, tied the game up, went into overtime. You probably know, he got sacked. We had 2nd and 26. Georgia had gotten the ball first possession in the first overtime, kicked a field goal. Tua steps up, ice water in his veins, and drills a rocket to Devontae Smith for a touchdown to win the game for us. It was great. And then Tua starts all year, has like a record-setting year pretty much for an Alabama quarterback. Don't think he beat out Blake Sims, by the way. Just like to throw some love to Blake Sims' way.
Yeah.
I think he's still our all-time passing leader. And people can criticize Lane Kiffin as much as they want, but the fact that he took a backup running back, turned him into a quarterback, and he's now our all-time passing leader for a season.
Impressive.
Totally impressive.
Yeah.
And Blake Sims is a great dude, by the way, if you ever met him. But Tua had, golly, I don't think he was just like setting records, and he's a great quarterback. No one doubted that. We had a little tough time in the game Saturday.
Georgia kind of had our pass game on lock.
Yeah.
And let me just ask, if there's one thing that Jalen can do better than Tua, what would that be? Run.
Yeah.
And that's what we needed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think his ankle was bothering him.
Yeah, had his ankle, and then his ankle got stepped on by an offensive lineman. It was already hurt. He comes out of the game, and Jalen comes in immediately, brings us down the field.
Was our starting quarterback.
Yeah.
This year had to be a backup to a sophomore.
Yeah. After only losing 2 games, by the way.
He's only lost 2 games. He's taken the team to 2 national championships.
Right. SEC Player of the Year.
Admittedly, hadn't won one, but he took us to 2 national championships, and now he's got to play second fiddle to a sophomore.
Talk about some humble pie you got to eat right there. And a lot of people speculated that he would transfer. He didn't.
Everyone thought he would because it kind of be in his best interest.
Exactly. Dude.
But he decided, you know what? No, I love my team. I'm going to stick with my team.
I'm about to graduate.
And if I have to sit on the bench and get to play a little bit in the fourth quarter, because there at the beginning of the season, Tua didn't play in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
right. I think he's only played in two fourth quarters.
I'll just settle for that. I'll take that.
And he did. And then he comes in and scores.
It's his moment.
He scores a touchdown to tie it up, throws a pass, a great pass, by the way, rolling out, scrambling. The third down conversion to Jalen Waddle was an awesome pass, too. Mm-hmm. And then for some unexplained reason, Georgia has 4th and 11 from like their 48-yard line, and they decide to try a fake punt with our defense still on the field. And they brought in their little black backup quarterback, whatever his name was. And, of course, we stuff it, and we get the ball back like at the
midfield.
Midfield. And Jalen proceeds to run the ball in for a touchdown to win the game with a minute left. Georgia got the ball back but really couldn't score. And
They
It's
needed
just
a
like-
touchdown just
Yeah.
to tie the game, take it to overtime.
Right, yeah, just to tie the game and take it to
Yeah, a
overtime.
kick was not going to do it.
No.
And they couldn't do it.
Yeah, so we won, which is great. We were Southeastern Conference champions, and that's great.
And Jalen saved the day.
And Jalen saved
just
the day.
the same way Tua saved the day the year before.
And a lot of people, that I saw on social media were like, well, Alabama fans hated Jalen, and now they love him or whatever. I will say that
I've always loved both of them.
Right. I don't know of any Alabama fan that hated Jalen. I know every time he came into a game, and at this season, Alabama fans cheered bigger than any other time outside of when we got touchdowns, of course, for him, and they loved him and everything. Now, a lot of Alabama fans last season were not happy with the way Jalen was playing, and they knew from practice reports and scrimmages and backup play from Tua that he had a great arm and was great at throwing the ball, and that wasn't Jalen's strength. He's greatly improved that this year.
He has.
And in the limited actions we've saw him in. So I'm interested to see going forward, next year. I would imagine he's going to graduate. He'll be eligible to transfer again as a graduate transfer. He can go play wherever he wants to.
Yeah, wherever he wants to.
And we'll probably do really well. And you won't have a bigger fan than Alabama fans for him unless we end up playing him. And then, of course, we will
won't cheer for him
yeah,
that game.
Right, yeah, we'll hate him for that game. But, it was just a storybook ending. To me, forever, my favorite Alabama football game has been the 1992 National Championship game. That game was amazing because Miami talked so much smack coming into it.
And we weren't supposed to have a chance.
Oh, yeah, we weren't supposed to have a chance. They had the Heisman Trophy winner and all that, and we just...
4 national championships, by the way.
Right, and we dominated him. That's always been my favorite game. But yesterday, I when it was over with, I didn't cry because I'm a man, but
I tell you, somebody who almost cried.
I almost
Coach
did.
Saban.
Yeah, he did. I almost did too. Like I felt it, I was like, man, if I really dwelled on this, I would probably have a little tears. And then I was like, that's kind of crazy. This is football. Why would I cry over football? But it's just, I felt so good for Jalen to be able to get like redemption in a way, Not that I don't think Jalen was done wrong or anything. A football team works where the best players play, and that's how it's supposed to work. For some reason, we give a little more leeway to quarterbacks. That's just the way the way it is. Football's like a truly American game. We got all these people that are equal, but somehow the quarterback's a little more important than everybody else, and that's like how our government works too. And anyways, so he got replaced, and that's the way football works, especially at a place like Alabama. But he got to come back in and win the game for us. It was amazing. I'm so happy I got to watch it on the smallest TV in my house because my kids were playing video games on the other one, and I'm a bigger man than making them get off, and I enjoyed it.
And to our audience, this is what you get when you don't give
better
us
leave
something
a
different
review.
to talk about.
Next week, I'm going to talk all about the 1992 National Championship game. We'll replay it
Unless,
down for down. By
unless
the way.
we have reviews to read or emails to read,
or
voicemails to listen to.
on our thing. So y'all better get on to it, or I'm going to be talking about how George Teague did, and I'm going to talk about all of that. So y'all want to hear some Lamont Russell stories? I'll tell them to you.
All the bowl games are going to get announced, and we'll go through each.
We
every
can go through
single
each
one
bowl.
of them.
Maybe we should do like a pick segment where we give our picks.
Yes.
Like I'm taking Pitt and the points in this one, or whatever.
Yes.
In the Alamo Weed Eater Bowl or whatever, or the Birmingham Bowl.
Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, the Belt Bowl is what it is, right?
Is
the
it
Birmingham Belt Bowl.
It was the BBVA Bowl for a while.
Yeah, it was a Compass Bowl.
But
it was a Papa John's Bowl once, and they ran out of pizza during it. Yeah. Birmingham's
I've wanted that so bad to be the Paul Feinbaum Bowl. I don't know why he won't just go ahead and pay the money to get his name on there.
Someone suggested online that since marijuana's getting legal, that some of these big like marijuana dispensers or whatever should sponsor the Birmingham Bowl, just for the irony of not only it being like the marijuana bowl or whatever, but it being in Alabama, which would be the last place in America to legalize marijuana. By the way,
how awesome if we could afford to make it the Earth Oddity Bowl.
Definitely, we could make that happen.
I wonder how much it costs.
You're like when the players,
somebody's people email our people.
Yeah, right. Yes,
which is really just me, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to say it's our people.
Even our assistant Christopher Sullivan. They players get like a swag bag, or whatever, have like PlayStations and watches and stuff in it. Like ours would be like, like
America's Thrift $15 gift certificate.
Yeah, like a bunch of like old silverware stuff that we don't need anymore is laying around. Here, you got a sleeping bag, you know, like
some bumper stickers.
That's right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that we could run a bowl, but that would be pretty awesome.
That would be so
What if
cool.
it was just like the Earth Oddity first down line, you know, during the Birmingham Belk Bowl or BBVA Compass Bowl or whatever? Well, our first down line's brought to you by Earth Oddity Podcast. Downloaded on Apple iTunes today. You know? That would be good. I wonder how much that would cost.
I don't know.
Probably more than
we have.
Unless I sell a kidney.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
So, hey, sick kids with cancer,
Yeah.
hit us up. With rich parents.
Yeah, you're going to need some cash. All right? We're not working out a payment plan. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Let's see. You have been listening to Earth Oddity Podcast, and we thank you so much for listening to us no matter where you get us, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Overcast,
Acast, Podcast Republic, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on them all. Thank you so much. If you would like to email the show, we are earthoddity@planetmail.net. If you would like to follow us on Instagram, that Instagram is _earthoddity.
That's right.
And if you would like to follow us on Twitter, hey, we could tweet. You never know.
You never know.
It's @_earthoddity.
That's right. We have a phone number, too.
We do.
You can call and leave us a voicemail. Maybe tell us why your football team should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Georgia fans.
You're wrong, but
Yeah.
we would like to hear your arguments anyway.
It's 662-493-2059. That's 662-493-2059.
We hope everybody out there has a great week.
Yep.
Earth Oddity for the Fringe Radio Network signing off.
Love y'all.
Bye.
This has been a very odd production. Thanks for listening.